Okay, good morning, class. Today we have Q&A, and my case is still down. Sorry. It should be hopefully worked on today, you all. So we have Mr. Morgan, Lori Young, Atlantic, Frederick, Stephanie, Stephen, Oklahoma, Mid-City Baptist High School, Our Lady of Holy Cross College, Charity Hospital, Bachelor of Science, Charity Hospital School, Diagnostic Ultrasound. You have St. Mary's Hospital, Roy Stevens, New Orleans Medical Center, Houston, Texas, Auxiliary Staffing, New Orleans Regional Medical Center, and Harold Henderson. And this is going to be 2:15 for 5 minutes, you all, and it starts in the beginning. Mr. Morgan, I'm Lori Young. I'm one of the lawyers representing Atlantic, who is the maker of the ultrasound machine. And have you ever been deposed before?
No, ma'am.
What we're going to be doing is asking you questions and letting you answer them in an attempt to get the facts of your accident and your alleged injuries, and as concisely as possible obtain an understanding of your claim. If at any point I ask a question that's not clear or that you think can be answered in more ways than one, I would appreciate it if you would inform me so that I can clarify that. The point of this whole exercise is to be as clear as we can be.
Okay, I understand.
If you require a break at any point, feel free to ask for one. I'm going to additionally ask that when I ask you questions, you answer out loud for the benefit of the court reporter who cannot pick up nods of the head.
Okay, I will do my best.
Let me begin by asking you to tell me about your family. You're married to Mrs. Morgan. Can you tell me if you have children?
Yes, ma'am. I have 3 children.
Can you give me their names and ages, please?
Stephanie is 24 years old, Frederick is 20, and Stephen is 6 years old.
Do Frederick and Stephanie still live with you?
Stephanie is married and lives in Oklahoma. Frederick is still living with us at home.
Is he in school?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Is he in college?
He is. Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Do you provide the only income for your family, or does your wife also work?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Has that been for the previous 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk me through a little bit about your educational background? Let's begin with high school.
I attended Mid-City Baptist High School, graduated from there, went to Our Lady of Holy Cross College, was majoring in science. At that point, I went to Charity Hospital, their School of Diagnostic Radiology.
Let me ask you a little something about the charity educational background. What exactly is that? You said that you went through some type of program?
That's a program to train you to be an X-ray tech.
How long did that program last?
That was a 2-year program.
Okay, when did you complete that program, the year?
I believe approximately 78, 79. That was a long time ago, I'm sorry.
That's fine. From Our Lady of Holy Cross, you acquired a Bachelor of Science degree?
No, ma'am. I didn't finish my degree there.
You did not finish. You just attended for how many years?
3 years.
Did you go directly from Our Lady of Holy Cross to Charity?
That's correct.
If you could continue on from there.
From Charity, I transferred to Charity Hospital School of Diagnostic Ultrasound, where I studied there for the full length of the program, which was a 1-year-long program.
This Charity Hospital program, what were the prerequisites for getting into the program?
You had to have a background of either a Bachelor of Science and or be in a paramedical field such as nursing and or radiology.
Had you worked in the interim?
I graduated in June and started at Charity in August, and I worked basically full-time at Slidell Memorial for 4 weeks.
When you finished at Charity, did you have a degree or a certificate or what?
A certificate program.
So when you began at Charity, you hadn't obtained your Bachelor of Science?
No, ma'am.
Where were you a paramedical field, or did they consider you to be working in the paramedical field?
Yes, ma'am.
And they just wanted you to have the certification rather than the work experience?
Yes.
At the end of the 1-year program at Charity, did you have another certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
That was for ultrasound technician?
Yes, tech.
Once you got that certificate, where did you go? Did you continue your education, or did you enter the workforce?
I entered the workforce. I went to work at St. Mary's Hospital.
Your position there?
Technician.
Were you working just with ultrasound machines?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you at St. Mary's?
5, 6 years.
Your reason for leaving?
Termination.
What was the reason for that?
Well, it was a dispute between my boss and me over the way he wanted a situation handled in getting patients in and out of the department.
Who was your boss?
Roy Stevens.
Who was the individual at St. Mary's who handled your separation from the hospital?
I was just told by Mr. Stevens I was fired.
Did they have a personnel department that you were familiar with, or human resources, or whatever it was called at St. Mary's?
They had a personnel department, but I was never brought through that.
Following your termination at St. Mary's, where did you go?
I went to New Orleans Regional Medical Center.
Can you tell me the dates, basic dates of your employment with St. Mary's?
From graduation, 5 years or so after that.
Okay, then did you begin at New Orleans Medical Center in relation to your termination at St. Mary's?
Several months after.
What work did you start doing there?
I was supposed to be ultrasound 20 hours per week.
How long were you at New Orleans Medical Center?
I'd say roughly about 7 months.
And what was your reason for leaving?
More stable job in relief staffing.
Did you go to a specific job?
I went to work for auxiliary staffing out of Houston, Texas.
What is auxiliary staffing? Is that a temporary company?
Correct, ma'am.
You believed that would be a more stable position?
They could offer me guaranteed work in my profession.
How did they guarantee you work?
Exactly.
Any kind of guarantee?
They provided me 40 hours every week.
What had been your average work week at New Orleans Medical Center?
Sometimes 40, sometimes less. It all depended. We had a person who was going through a divorce, so she was in and out quite a bit.
Did it ever exceed 40?
Well, yes.
Did you go directly from New Orleans Regional to auxiliary staffing?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was your supervisor at New Orleans Regional Medical Center?
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of his name. Harold Henderson.
Did they have a... Okay, you all, and this will be at 2:25. Don't forget New Orleans is Norrls, Norls, okay? And this is 2:25. Mr. Morgan, I'm Lori Young. I'm one of the lawyers representing Atlantic, who is the maker of the ultrasound machine. And have you ever been deposed before?
No, ma'am.
What we're going to be doing is asking you questions and letting you answer them in an attempt to get the facts of your accident and your alleged injuries, and as concisely as possible obtain an understanding of your claim. If at any point I ask a question that's not clear that you think can be answered in more ways than one, I would appreciate it if you would inform me so that I can clarify that. The point of this whole exercise is to be as clear as we can be.
Okay, I understand.
If you require a break at any point, feel free to ask for one. I'm going to additionally ask that when I ask you questions, you answer out loud for the benefit of the court reporter who cannot pick up nods of the head.
Okay, I will do my best.
Let me begin by asking you to tell me about your family. You're married to Mrs. Morgan. Can you tell me if you have any children?
Yes, ma'am. I have 3 children.
Can you give me their names and ages, please?
Stephanie is 24 years old. Frederick is 20, and Stephen is 6 years old.
Do Frederick and Stephanie still live with you?
Stephanie is married and lives in Oklahoma. Frederick is still living with us at home.
Is he in school?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Is he in college?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Do you provide the only income for your family, or does your wife also work?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Has that been for the previous 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk me through a little bit about your educational background? Let's begin with high school.
I attended Mid-City Baptist High School, graduated from there, went to Our Lady of Holy Cross College, was majoring in science. At that point, I went to Charity Hospital, their School of Diagnostic Radiology.
Let me ask you a little something about the Charity educational background. What exactly is that? You said that you went through some type of program.
That's a program to train you to be an X-ray tech.
How long did that program last?
That was a 2-year program.
Okay, when did you complete that program, the year?
I believe approximately 78, 79. That was a long time ago. I'm sorry.
That's fine. From Our Lady of Holy Cross, you acquired a Bachelor of Science degree?
No, ma'am. I didn't finish my degree there.
You did not finish. You just attended for how many years?
3 years.
Did you go directly from Our Lady of Holy Cross to Charity?
That's correct.
If you could, continue on from there.
From Charity, I transferred to Charity Hospital School of Diagnostic Ultrasound, where I studied there for a full length of the program, which was a 1-year-long program.
This Charity Hospital program, what were the prerequisites for getting into the program?
You have to have a background of either a Bachelor of Science and or be in a paramedical field such as nursing and or radiology.
Had you worked in the interim?
I graduated in June and started at Charity in August, and I worked basically full-time at Slidell Memorial for 4 weeks.
When you finished at Charity, did you have a degree or a certificate or what?
A certificate program.
So when you began at Charity, you hadn't obtained your Bachelor of Science?
No, ma'am.
Were you in the paramedical field, or did they consider you to be working in the paramedical field?
Yes, ma'am.
They just wanted you to have the certification rather than the work experience?
Yes.
At the end of the 1-year program at Charity, did you have another certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
That was for ultrasound technician?
Yes, tech.
Once you got that certificate, where did you go? Did you continue your education, or did you enter the workforce?
I entered the workforce. I went to work at St. Mary's Hospital.
Your position there?
Technician.
Were you working just with ultrasound machines?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you at St. Mary's?
5, 6 years.
Your reason for leaving?
Termination.
What was the reason for that?
Well, it was a dispute between my boss and me over the way he wanted a situation handled in getting patients in and out of the department.
Who was your boss?
Roy Stevens.
Who was the individual at St. Mary's who handled your separation from the hospital?
I was just told by Mr. Stevens I was fired.
Did they have a personnel department that you were familiar with, or human resources, or whatever it was called at St. Mary's?
They had a personnel department, but I was never brought through that.
Following your termination at St. Mary's, where did you go?
I went to New Orleans Regional Medical Center.
Can you tell me the dates, basic dates of your employment with St. Mary's?
From graduation, 5 years or so after that.
Okay, when did you begin at New Orleans Medical Center in relation to your termination at St. Mary's?
Several months after.
What work did you start doing there?
I was supposed to be ultrasound, 20 hours per week.
How long were you at New Orleans Medical Center?
I'd say roughly about 7 months.
And what was your reason for leaving?
More stable job in relief staffing.
Did you go to a specific job?
I went to work for auxiliary staffing out of Houston, Texas.
What is auxiliary staffing? Is that a temporary company?
Correct, ma'am.
You believe that would be a more stable position?
They could offer me guaranteed work in my profession.
They did offer you guaranteed work.
Exactly.
And any kind of guarantee?
They provided me 40 hours every week.
What had been your average work week at New Orleans Medical Center?
Sometimes 40, sometimes less. It all depended. We had a person who was going through a divorce, so she was in and out quite a bit.
Did it ever exceed 40?
Well, yes.
Did you go directly from New Orleans Regional to auxiliary staffing?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was your supervisor at New Orleans Regional Medical Center?
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of his name. Harold Henderson.
Did they have a personnel department or a human resources department? Do you recall the name of the individual you dealt with through them?
No, ma'am, I sure don't.
Can you tell me a little bit about your position at auxiliary staffing? How did that work?
I don't quite.
Okay. And this will be at 2:35. Mr. Morgan, I'm Lori Young. I'm one of the lawyers representing Atlantic, who is the maker of the ultrasound machine. And have you ever been deposed before?
No, ma'am.
What we're going to be doing is asking you questions and letting you answer them in an attempt to get the facts of your accident and your alleged injuries, and as concisely as possible obtain an understanding of your claim. If at any point I ask a question that's not clear or that you think can be answered in more ways than one, I would appreciate it if you would inform me so that I can clarify that. The point of this whole exercise is to be as clear and concise as we can be.
Okay, I understand.
If you require a break at any point, feel free to ask for one. I'm going to additionally ask that when I ask you questions, you answer out loud for the benefit of the court reporter who cannot pick up nods of the head.
Okay, I will do my best.
Let me begin by asking you to tell me about your family. You're married to Mrs. Morgan. Can you tell me if you have children?
Yes, ma'am. I have 3 children.
Can you give me their names and ages, please?
Stephanie is 24 years old, Frederick is 20, and Stephen is 6 years old.
Do Frederick and Stephanie still live with you?
Stephanie is married and lives in Oklahoma. Frederick is still living with us at home.
Is he in school?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Is he in college?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Do you provide the only income for your family, or does your wife also work?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Has that been for the previous 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk me through a little bit about your educational background? Let's begin with high school.
I attended Mid-City Baptist High School, graduated from there, went to Our Lady of Holy Cross College, was majoring in science. At that point, I went to Charity Hospital, their School of Diagnostic Radiology.
Let me ask you a little something about the charity educational background. What exactly is that? You said that you went through some type of program?
That's a program to train you to be an X-ray tech.
How long did that program last?
That was a 2-year program.
Okay, when did you complete that program? The year?
I believe approximately 78, 79. That was a long time ago. I'm sorry.
That's fine. From Our Lady of Holy Cross, you acquired a Bachelor of Science degree?
No, ma'am. I didn't finish my degree there.
You did not finish. You just attended for how many years?
3 years.
Did you go directly from Our Lady of Holy Cross to Charity?
That's correct.
If you could, continue on from there.
From Charity, I transferred to Charity Hospital School of Diagnostic Ultrasound, where I studied there for the full length of the program, which was a 1-year-long program.
This Charity Hospital program, what were the prerequisites for getting into the program?
You have to have a background of either a Bachelor of Science or be in a paramedical field such as nursing and or radiology.
Had you worked in the interim?
I graduated in June and started at Charity in August, and I worked basically full-time at Slidell Memorial for 4 weeks.
When you finished at Charity, did you have a degree or a certificate or what?
A certificate program.
So when you began at Charity, you hadn't obtained your Bachelor of Science?
No, ma'am.
Were you in the paramedical field, or did they consider you to be working in the paramedical field?
Yes, ma'am.
They just wanted you to have the certification rather than the work experience?
Yes.
At the end of the 1-year program at Charity, did you have another certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
That was for ultrasound technician?
Yes, tech.
Once you got that certificate, where did you go? Did you continue your education, or did you enter the workforce?
I entered the workforce. I went to work at St. Mary's Hospital.
Your position there?
Technician.
Were you working just with ultrasound machines?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you at St. Mary's?
6 years.
Your reason for leaving?
Termination.
What was the reason for that?
Well, it was a dispute between my boss and me over the way he wanted a situation handled and getting patients in and out of the department.
Who was your boss?
Roy Stevens.
Who was the individual at St. Mary's who handled your separation from the hospital?
I was just told by Mr. Stevens I was fired.
Did they have a personnel department that you were familiar with, or human resources, or whatever it was called at St. Mary's?
They had a personnel department, but I was never brought through that.
Following your termination at St. Mary's, where did you go?
I went to New Orleans Regional Medical Center.
Can you tell me the dates, basic dates of your employment with St. Mary's?
From graduation, 5 years or so after that.
Okay, then when did you begin at New Orleans Medical Center in relation to your termination at St. Mary's?
Several months after.
What work did you start doing there?
I was supposed to be ultrasound 20 hours per week.
How long were you at New Orleans Medical Center?
I'd say roughly about 7 months.
And what was your reason for leaving?
More stable job in relief staffing.
Did you go to a specific job?
I went to work for auxiliary staffing out of Houston, Texas.
What is auxiliary staffing? Is that a temporary company?
Correct, ma'am.
You believe that would be a more stable position?
They could offer me guaranteed work in my profession.
Did they offer you guaranteed work?
Exactly.
Any kind of guarantee?
They provided me 40 hours every week.
What had been your average work week at New Orleans Medical Center?
Sometimes 40, sometimes less. It all depended. We had a person who was going through a divorce, so she was in and out quite a bit.
Did it ever exceed 40?
Well, yes.
Did you go directly from New Orleans Regional to auxiliary staffing?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was your supervisor at New Orleans Regional Medical Center?
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of his name. Harold Henderson.
Did they have a personnel department or a human resources department? Do you recall the name of the individual you dealt with through them?
No, ma'am, I sure don't.
Can you tell me a little bit about your position at auxiliary staffing? How did that work?
I don't quite get what you're asking me.
You say that they guaranteed placement. Did they place you at a single place, or did you go into some different ones in the area? Can you tell me just how that works?
I would go around filling in at places, doctor's offices, clinics, where I was needed at the time.
Okay, we'll get ready for your test since you have a 240 Q&A. And so you have on your 240 Q&A, you all use it for some speed building. Miss Hicks, Bruce, Camaro, Can-Am, Jeep, Tahoe, Oklahoma, Honda, Shadow, Walmart, ATV, Kelly Blue Book, you all, washer and dryer. And it starts in the middle. This is going to be 240 Q&A for 5 minutes, you all. Okay. Ms. Hicks, so as far as you can tell me today, you did not attend the closing and your name is not actually on the title.
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay, but that is a correct statement?
Yes.
All right, so is that house community property or Bruce's separate property?
That is community property.
Okay.
I lived there. That is my home as well.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, what is your evidence? What documents do you have that you're going to show the court at final trial that that house is community property versus Bruce's separate property?
I can show that I lived there by having my mail received there the whole time. I lived there.
You lived there and you received mail there. Anything else?
I was the one that maintained it.
All right, so you received mail there, you lived there, you maintained it. Anything else?
So anything, that was my home too.
So to summarize your complete argument that that house is community property is based off you living there, you receiving mail there, and you help maintain it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, the case has been on file for a while back in October. This is now February. We have trial coming up eventually. What other factual basis supports your position that this house is community property and not Bruce's personal property?
I helped pick out that house.
Okay.
I believe I was part of that house when he got it. He would not be where he is if he didn't have me.
All right. Tell me, what was the source of money that was used for any down payment at the time of the purchase?
I believe his grandparents helped put a down payment.
Okay, anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so as far as any down payments towards this house when it was originally purchased, the only source of money you know of would have been from Bruce's parents. Grandparents, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, how did his grandparents get him the money to purchase this house?
I have no idea.
Okay, what other property items are there that are subject to division of the court?
Such as
What else is there to fight about?
the truck,
Okay,
motorcycle, Camaro, Can-Am, Jeep, boat, trailer, Tahoe. And then Bruce gave away my washer and dryer to his mother. So those are mine, in my opinion. And my refrigerator is mine. He bought that as a gift when I came back home from Oklahoma, and also as well as my dishwasher.
okay, so there's a truck now. Is that the truck that you referred to that Bruce is actually driving right now?
Yes.
And I believe that's some monster truck type of thing.
Yes.
All right, you're driving the Tahoe?
Yes, sir.
What year is that?
09.
All right. He has a motorcycle?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you know what it is?
Honda Shadow.
Okay. You mentioned a Can-Am. That's not one of those little scooters you buy at Walmart.
No.
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 Okay. So it's the big, like, side-by-side ATV thing.
Yes, sir.
All right. When was that purchased?
2015, I believe.
Okay. And you mentioned a boat and a trailer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do those kind of go together?
Yes.
Is the boat sitting on the trailer?
And then there's a separate trailer.
Okay. That's what I'm asking. I want to make sure we're not leaving things out. So there's 2 trailers.
Yes.
All right. Tell me what you can about the boat. How do you identify it?
A 45-foot boat.
Okay. What is its current condition as far as you know?
Besides the fact that Bruce has let it turn to crap by leaving the thing off of it for the last year, one of the engines has a cracked motor. But other than that, it's decent. He just let the interior go bad.
Okay. So to use your words, the interior has gone bad.
I'm sorry. He has allowed the interior to get molded. I mean, not rusted, but tattered. So yes.
Okay. And it's got one mortar that's cracked.
Yes, out of the 3.
Okay. And as far as dividing up the community estate and putting values to things, what is this boat worth to you in your mind?
In my mind,
Yeah.
we had gone to Oklahoma and picked it out together. It's more sentimental.
Are you asking for it in the divorce?
No,
Okay.
I can't drive it.
All right.
Seriously, what do I tow it with? My Tahoe?
I'm asking you what you want. I don't know. So you don't want the boat, but I heard you say earlier you want half of everything. So what is it in that is in relation to the boat?
I would like for Bruce to give me half of everything.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if he wants all that, he can have it, but I want half of it.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out what the end result of that is. How much is the boat worth to you?
Well, I know that boat, if it was not allowed to go to crap, it's an expensive boat.
Okay. As it sits right now, today, what is it worth?
It's still probably close to 80,000.
Okay. What is his truck worth?
With the lift and everything, speakers upgrade 6,000 in rims and tires, his truck is probably close to maybe 60,000.
It's valued today?
I would assume.
Okay. How about his motorcycle?
I don't know how much the motorcycle is.
Okay.
I do know he put upgrades on it.
How much for your Tahoe?
I did do a Kelly Blue Book on it, and with the wear and tear that it has, it's about 11,000.
Okay. And then you mentioned a washer dryer.
Okay.
And tell me how the washer dryer came into being. That either one of y'all had it?
Before me and Bruce got married, I had bought a washer and dryer.
Okay.
His mother came and lived with us. She moved out. She needed a washer and dryer. So Bruce gave her my washer and dryer and purchased me a brand new washer and dryer.
And so when you said you wanted your washer and dryer back, you want the washer dryer that Bruce gave his parents back in 07.
No, I bought the original washer and dryer in 07.
I think I understand what you're saying.
And then he gave those to his mother.
Are those the ones you want back?
No, I don't want them back. I already went and bought new ones because I was told I couldn't have the washer and dryer out of the house.
So what washer dryer do you want?
I have my own washer and dryer, but I want half of the washer and dryer that he bought me originally as a present because he gave mine away.
Okay, I'm totally confused. There's the washer dryer. Okay, you all, we'll get ready for your 225. Okay, you all, so we have your second or your first 225 Q&A. Mustang, Ripley, and Sheila. Starts in the middle. This is going to be 225 Q&A number 1 for 5 minutes, you all. What happened to the other cars that were at the scene of the accident?
I don't know.
Were the other cars involved in the accident told to pull over to the right side of the road as well?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you recall what happened after everyone had pulled over to the right side of the road?
I don't know what anyone else did.
Fair enough. What did you do after everyone had pulled over to the right side of the road?
I stepped out of my car.
What did you do once you stepped out of your car?
I walked over to the car in front of me.
Was the car in front of you that you walked over to my client's car?
Yes, it was.
Did you then proceed to have a conversation with my client?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall the gist of the conversation you had with my client?
I asked her if she was okay.
Did my client respond to your question?
Yes, she did.
Do you recall what her response to your question was?
I don't recall.
Do you recall anything that either of the two of you said at that time?
No, I don't.
Did you speak with the people who were in the Mustang?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall how many people were in the Mustang?
I think there was 2.
Do you remember anything about the driver of the Mustang?
He was a male.
Do you remember anything about the other person in the Mustang?
She was a girl.
Do you recall anything about the conversation you had with the driver of the Mustang?
No, I don't.
Do you recall if you asked the two of them if they were okay?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall how long you stayed by their vehicle talking to them?
It wasn't very long.
Do you think it was less than 5 minutes?
Oh yes, it was less than 5 minutes.
Do you think it was less than 1 minute?
It was no more than a minute.
Where was the police officer while you were talking to the people in the Mustang?
I don't know.
Did you return to your vehicle at some point?
Yes, I did.
Did you speak to the police officer once you had returned to your vehicle?
I think so, but I'm not sure at what point it was.
But you do remember speaking to the officer at the scene, is that right?
Yes, sir, I do recall that.
Do you recall if the officer took any information from you?
Yes, sir, he did.
Do you recall what you told him at that point?
I told him there was an accident.
Did he ask you to give him details of the accident?
Yes, he did.
Did you tell him your car had made contact with the rear of the car that was ahead of you?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell him that the car ahead of you was then pushed into the Mustang?
Yes.
How long were you there at the accident scene before you drove off?
I don't remember.
After you gave the officer the details of the accident, did you have any further conversation with the people in the Mustang?
I don't remember.
Did you have any further conversation with the officer at the scene?
I don't remember.
How many officers do you recall seeing at the accident of the scene?
I only saw the one policeman.
Were you able to drive your vehicle away from the scene of the accident?
Yes.
Did you leave at the same time as the people in front of you?
I don't remember.
Did you leave the scene at the same time as the people behind you?
I don't remember.
What did you do after you left the scene of the accident?
I went to Ripley.
What did you do in Ripley when you got there?
I don't know.
Do you have friends or family in Ripley?
No, sir.
Did you then return home later in the day?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did my client ever tell you that she felt injured when you spoke to her?
I don't remember.
Since the time of the accident and up to the present time, have you had any more contact with the people in the Mustang?
No, I haven't.
Have you had any contact with Sheila since the day of the accident?
Yes, I have.
While you were there at the scene of the accident, did you and Sheila discuss what had happened?
I don't remember.
Do you recall anything that Sheila said while you were at the scene of the accident?
No, not really.
Has Sheila ever talked to you about how the accident occurred?
No, I don't think so.
While you were at the scene of the accident, did Sheila speak to the officer there?
I'm not sure.
Did you see the people from the Mustang talking to the officer at the scene of the accident?
I don't remember.
Did you see my client talking to the officer?
I don't remember.
Was the officer a male or a female?
It was a male officer.
Was he taking notes as you were speaking to him?
I don't remember.
But he did ask you a number of questions about the accident, is that right?
Yes, he did.
Did he ask to see your driver's license?
Yes, he did.
Were you able to produce your license to show him?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did he ask if you had car insurance?
Yes, he did.
Have you ever told anyone that my client's vehicle hit the Mustang before your car made contact with hers?
Yes, I have.
Have you told that to anyone other than your attorney?
No, sir.
Do you believe that my client's car hit the Mustang before your car made contact with my client's car?
Yes, I do.
What is it that makes you think that they hit the Mustang first?
I saw the car in front of me at a stop.
I don't understand why that led you to believe that my client's car hit the Mustang first.
I don't know.
Did someone suggest to you that my client's car hit the Mustang first?
I don't think so.
Do you recall when you first had the impression that the Mustang was hit first?
When my car hit the car in front of me.
Did you mention that to the officer at the scene?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall what you said in that regard to the officer?
I don't remember.
Did Sheila mention that to you while you were at the scene of the accident? And then we have 225 number 2, James Ray Tram, Jack Dale, John Lance Miles, CPS, Harris County, John Miles, Travis, Austin, Houston, Kyle, Mark Hale, James and Jack, Dr. Baker, Claire and Al Miles, Dallas, Ann Bray, Carl Bray, Miles, Bray, Brays, Al and Claire, Arlington, Mileses, Claire, and Ms. Miles. And this will be 225 number 2. It starts at the very beginning for 5 minutes. Okay, can you please name your children and their ages?
James Ray Tram, he's 6. Jack Dale, he's 4. My last name. John Lance Miles, he's 2 weeks old.
He's 2 weeks old. Okay, and do you have a current CPS case in Harris County at this time?
Yes.
And since that time, about a few weeks ago, you've had this last child, John Miles.
Yes.
Okay, in that case in Harris County, weren't you arrested for endangerment to a child?
Yes.
And then you were released at that time.
Yes.
And then you have your new baby. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this new child, please tell us, you had this child in which county?
In Travis.
Okay,
In Austin.
okay. But you have resided in Houston, isn't that correct?
I was living previously. I'm living in Austin now.
Okay, how long have you been living in Austin?
I've been there going on a month, 2 months already.
2 months, but you were arrested in Kyle, isn't that correct?
No, I was arrested in Austin.
Okay, and you have a Harris County case, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and isn't it true that you have been charged with injury to a child, a second degree?
Have I been charged? I don't know if I've been charged.
Okay, so you do know that you were arrested twice, correct?
No, I was arrested once.
Okay, so you were arrested once. On what day?
It's been about a week.
A week?
I don't know the exact date.
And do you not know what you were arrested for?
I was arrested for endangering and abandoning a child.
Okay, and during that case, are you currently on bond for that case?
Yes.
And that case is ongoing at this time, is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and for your children, in this case, the father of this child you believe is Mark Hale, correct?
Yes.
And where is he currently at?
In Harris County.
And where is he at? In a residence in Harris County, or is he in jail in Harris County?
He's in jail.
Okay, do you know why he is in jail at this time?
For what's going on.
And what's going on? Can you be more specific?
Endangering a child.
Okay, so at this time, your two oldest children, James and Jack, are currently placed out of your home. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And they are in the custody of CPS at this time.
Yes.
Okay, you were at that Harris County hearing and you heard the testimony of that doctor at that time. Didn't the doctor say that your child was tortured at that time? Did you ever hear the testimony by Dr. Baker say your child may have been tortured?
Yes.
Okay, and you were in that hearing where the doctor stated that the child was injured from head to toe. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
At this time, you say you're living in Austin, and who are you living with in Austin?
My father.
Okay, and your father's the one who bonded you out of jail. Isn't that correct?
My lawyer did, my attorney.
Okay, and when that child was born, did you contact CPS and let them know that you had a new baby?
I wasn't advised that I was supposed to.
Okay,
To let them know, that is.
your answer is no.
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't know I was supposed to.
okay, and during that time when CPS became involved with this new child, did you take this child to any other home or residence?
I asked the CPS if they could place them with my aunt and my uncle.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
What's your aunt or uncle's name?
Claire and Al Miles.
Okay, and are you working at this time?
I'm out on maternity leave. My 60 days aren't over yet.
Oh, so you're not currently working at this time?
No, but I do plan to.
Okay, you do plan to work.
Yes.
Okay, and were you working before you had the child?
Before I had the child, no, I was pregnant. I mean, I was already at my ending pregnancy. No.
Okay, when was the last time you were employed?
Oh, it's been maybe last year.
Last year, 2013.
Yes.
You said you were gonna try to place this child with your aunt.
My aunt and uncle. If not, well, I have another aunt.
Okay,
She's in Dallas.
and what are their names?
Who?
What's the name of your aunt?
Ann Bray and Carl Bray.
Bray.
Yes.
It isn't Miles.
No. The previous one was, yes.
Okay,
The one that he was placed with is Claire and Al Miles,
okay, so you want him to be placed there.
if they could.
How about the Brays?
I wanted them to get placed with Al and Claire, but if they can't, well, then they can place him with them.
Explain.
I said I wanted them to get placed with Al and Claire, yes.
Okay,
If not, if they can't, well, then Ann Bray,
Bray.
yes.
And where do the Brays live?
In Arlington,
In Arlington.
yes.
Okay, but they're currently right now with the Mileses, right?
Yes.
Do you want them there?
He was previously there
Who do you want this child with?
with Al and Claire,
In other words, you want the child to stay with the Mileses,
yes.
but you don't live anywhere with them, right?
No, I don't live there.
Where do the Mileses live?
They live there in Austin. They reside in Austin,
And you said you live in Austin, right?
yes.
How far away do you live from the Mileses?
About 5 blocks down,
Okay, and you're currently living with your father?
yes.
Okay, and how are they related to you, the Mileses?
It's my dad's brother,
It's your dad's brother.
yes.
Okay, you feel they can take care of the child?
Yes.
Do they have any other children?
I think she's 17 and my other one's 15.
And who else lives there?
Just my aunt and uncle and the daughter and the son.
Who takes care of the child?
Claire.
Who is Claire?
Claire.
That's your aunt.
She's my uncle's wife.
Yes, in other words, that's your aunt.
Yes.
Okay, does she work outside the home?
Yes.
Where does she work?
She works at the health clinic that's there in Austin.
Who's going to take care of the child if she's working?
See, when they placed them with them, where they got him placed, and she got her mother to watch him, and they did a home study. They did.
Okay, you all, that concludes your Q&As for today. Have a great day. That first one was awesome. Good luck, okay?